Good morning. Good morning to all. Once again, we welcome you all to the 5 days FTP, which has been sponsored by AIC Airtel and is being conducted by Chennai Institute of Technology. So today we are at the third day of the first session. This session is going to be handled by Mr. Praveen Kumar, professor from ECE, and he is the industrial project coordinator. So his expertise will help you to understand the application of IoT in the aspect of industrial projects. So we request you to utilize his expertise and enhance your knowledge. So, Praveen sir, you can go over the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, all. I am Praveen, Industrial Project Coordinator from Chennai Institute of Technology. So, in this session, we are going to see about IoT and its application, and also IIoT, the difference between IoT and IIoT, and some practical applications. We have done so many projects for the industries. So that prototype I'm going to I'm going to share that so that you may get some insight about that. So let us start the session. So this is the content that we are going to see today in this session. So first we are going to see about IoT and IIoT, industrial IoT. Then some of the tools that we use to deploy that application in the industries in order to implement the IoT technology for the problem statement. So what are the tools available that we are going to see? And then I'm going to give one practical demo for you. In that, I'm going to show how to upload the values to the cloud. So in that, we are going to see all the parts in the IoT. So simply how to upload the values by using the sensors. We are acquiring value, that how we are uploading into the cloud, that I am going to give. And some of the projects we have done. So I'm going to share those projects with you. And also some of the proof of concepts also we have done. I am going to share that with you so that definitely you will get some insight about the IoT. So first of all, what is Internet of Things? That is one of the important topic or a definition relevant to this session. So before going to see that, based on the application of the Internet, based on the applications, we can classify the internet into different types, like the Internet of People. Internet of Things comes under that category. And Internet for entertainment, you know very well about the entertainment that we get in Internet. And also Internet for education, like that many more applications are there, many more categories are there based on the application of the Internet. Right? So the Internet of Things, what is Internet of Things? That connects the things together. See, we all are having a smartphone, right? We all are having smartphone, and in that phone you have so many data, like so many informations are there, like your photos, images, files, right? Contact numbers. So many data and information we store inside the phone, right? As long as that phone is not connected to the internet, as long as you don't share those data with some other people, that will be local only to you. Only you can access all those data, right? Only you can access those data, and that data will reside only inside your mobile, right? But when you connect that to the internet, or you enable internet in your phone, what will happen? That too, even after doing like that, also the data will be available local to your phone only. But when the moment when you share that file, that is your image or audio file or video, into the internet, for example, if you post the photo in the Facebook or WhatsApp, that will become global, okay, to whomever you send or share that image. That will become common, okay. Anyone who has the privilege to see that can access those images and videos, right? So this is what happens exactly in the Internet of Things. So for example, in this room we have automated, in this room we have lights, fan, AC, and all the electrical appliances, right? So what we can do is we can connect all the appliances to the internet through one board. For that we need microprocessor, microcontroller, with the networking capability. So when I do like that, what will happen? The status of this light and fan will be uploaded into the internet. Once I upload that into the internet, anywhere across the globe, I can access that. I can see that. See, I am in Chennai now. This college is in Chennai. In this room, okay, these lights and fans are connected to the internet. So the result is, even if I go to some European countries, from there I can see the status of these LEDs, these lights and fans, the electrical appliances. The status of those electrical appliances can be viewed from anywhere across the globe. Not only viewing, not only seeing the status, I can also have control over them. I can turn on and off those lights and fans from anywhere across the globe. So this is the basic concept of Internet of Things. I hope you understood. So when you connect the things together through the internet, that would communicate with each other without human intervention, right? Automatically that would communicate with each other. For example, in a living room we have fan and AC, right? So when the temperature goes above the particular level, I can turn on the AC. When it reaches some threshold, I can turn off the AC and I can turn on the fan. So like that, I can program, okay. So without the human intervention, automatically all these things will happen, okay. Not only simply turning on and off, we can do so many analytics by using the Internet of Things. For example, in our houses, we have the electrical appliances, right? So what is the amount, what is the energy consumed by the particular light or particular fan, that I can calculate with the help of IoT. Not only merely turning on and off, I can do all those things with the help of IoT. I can do so many analytics with the help of IoT, right? I hope you understood this. If you have any queries, you can ask parallelly, right? You can post that question in the chat box. At the end of the session, I try to answer all your queries. Because since I am sharing the PPT, I cannot see the queries that you send. Okay, at the end of the session, I will try to answer. So these are the main markets of IoT. Smart cities, we can use Internet of Things. In the smart city, you can automate everything, right? So in the healthcare, we can use, so healthcare, continuously we can monitor the status of the patient. In our countries, we do not have the caretaker for the patients, dementia patients, okay? Parkinson is a disease, right? For that, caretakers are needed. In foreign countries, Western countries, they appoint one caretaker. So in our country, we do not have like that. The family members itself would take care of the patient. But in foreign countries, they would have appointed some caretaker. So in the healthcare, it will be much, the Internet of Things concept is much useful. So the level, that is the status of the patient, can be directly sent to the caretaker as well as to the doctor.
The participants, please be online. I hope some technical difficulties, so please be online. Let me try to connect to.
ஐயோ, எதுல இருந்து தெரியுமா? திரும்பி அதுல இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. ஓகே ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார். சார் நீங்க இங்கே இருக்கீங்களா? ஏன்னா எனக்கு தெரியல சார்.
Sir, please switch on your audio.
Sir, is my voice audible now? Is my voice audible now, sir?
What? Sir, please, you can go ahead.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you. So again, we can start. Sorry for the interruption. So the difference between IoT and IIoT, that is normal IoT or human IoT and industrial IoT, right? So in human IoT or normal IoT, I'm going to deploy the application only within the certain range, or the application will be limited. Okay. So even if failure occurs in human IoT, the impact will be very, very less, right? Whereas in industrial IoT, since that is related to the production, right? If failure occurs, so impact will be greater and the losses will be heavier. So care must be taken to deploy the IoT in industries, right? So normally we need to access to the sensor, we need to access to the devices, and network access must be there. We need to ensure the working, 100% working of all those accesses. Okay, so this diagram shows that. Before going to see elaborately about the applications, I just give you some basic idea about IoT. This is the basic block of IoT. So the first thing will be the sensor and the actuators. Okay, normally sensors, you know very well about sensors, right? So we can, if you want to retrieve some parameters, then we need to use the sensor. That parameter can be electrical, mechanical, chemical, or anything. Even the environmental parameter we can access. Okay, so this is a kind of input. Normally sensors are the inputs to the IoT, right? And actuators. Actuator means normally the motor, the physical movement we need to give in the end device, right? For that we use actuators. Actuators are normally motors. Even in some cases it will be an indicator or lights. Okay, so that is the first thing. So sensors must be there and actuator must be there. Sensor is related to the inputs and actuator output. And the next point is edge computing, or simply microprocessor. So in this, why the name edge? Because this computer or the microcontroller or computational unit will be closer to the application side. For example, if I am going to connect my car or my motorbike to the IoT, in that side, I need one processing element. Normally that will be a microprocessor, a microcontroller, and that should be incorporated with the application side. Is it clear? For example, if I am going to automate my home, I need to connect all the electrical components, right? I need to connect all the electrical accessories together. That should be connected to one basic computational unit called edge computers, and that process is called edge computing. Okay, and the next one is fog node or IoT gateway. See, the edge computers are normally the microprocessor that would do some basic operation, like it would process the data from the sensor and it would actuate the actuators, right? So many conversion. Normally when you use sensor, you'll be getting the signals in the form of digital signals you may get. Sometimes you may get the data in the form of serially you get the data, parallelly you get the data, and digital data, analog data, like that. So many variants are there depending upon the type of the data that you get from the sensor. That must be processed first. That can be done with the help of the microcontroller present at the edge side. So you need to pre-process the data first, and you need to acquire the data, then pre-process it, and if possible you can do some computation there, and then you should connect that to the gateway. What do you mean by gateway? Normal, in general sense, what is gateway? We have gateway of India, Indian gateway, right? Through that we can enter into one town or city or country, right? That is gateway. Similarly, here we have IoT gateway. So normally through that, all the data that we acquire, that can be transmitted to the cloud, right? Cloud or internet. what is cloud? What is basically internet? Interconnection of computers. Okay. So the cloud is also the same. You can transmit those data into the cloud and you can process some data there. That is called cloud computing. Okay. And then once it is processed, you can retransmit the data to your mobile or PC, right? I give you one simple example for this entire process, the ATM machine, right? So normally we insert the ATM card, debit card into the ATM machine, okay? So that is where exactly we give the input to the system. So the edge computing is a thing that is inside that ATM machine. Inside the ATM machine, we have some form of computation, right? So like when the card is inserted, it recognizes, okay, it reads the data physically from the card, and after that, it would not process everything there. All the data acquired from the card will be sent to the server. Okay, server is what? It is also a computer, but one centralized computer will be there for all the ATM machines, right? So all those data will be sent to that centralized server. There, authentication take place, whether the given data is authenticated or not. If it is not, it tells us that the PIN that you have entered is wrong, or you do not have access to this ATM. Like that, we get some notification. If it is authenticated successfully, then we get the information what you want to do. You want to do bank transaction, or you want to withdraw the amount, you want to change the PIN, like that it is asking, no? So the same concept, okay? So normally in IoT, you must know, we have sensors. Sensor senses the data and it gives to the edge computer. Edge computer is normally a microcontroller or a microprocessor that is capable of processing those information, and it sends all those data to the fog node or IoT gateway. IoT gateway is also a microcontroller. According to Cisco, the definition of a fog node is any computer or any microcontroller or microprocessor or computational unit that has the networking capability. That is called IoT, fog node. Okay, then you can upload those data into the cloud. If you process those data into the cloud, then that is called cloud computing. If you simply store the data and transmit, that is also cloud computing, but actually you do not compute anything there. Okay, so you have two options. You can compute everything in the edge itself. If possible, you can compute in the fog node also. Normally it acts as the gateway, right? So normally you do not process here, but still you can do like that in order to reduce the bottleneck at the cloud, right? So this is the concept of the overall basic block diagram of IoT. And once you upload those values into the cloud, you can retransmit those data into the mobile or PC. So I give one example. In our house, we have electrical appliances, right? I connect all those electrical appliances here, and I send those data into the microcontroller. Whether it is turned on or off, everything is sent to the microcontroller. Then by using the gateway, I transmit that to the cloud. So anywhere across the globe, once it is uploaded to the cloud, anywhere across the globe, I can access those data. That is, this data are bidirectional. That means I can see the status of my light even from being in Europe country, and I can also not only see, I can also have control over those lights and fans. Okay, so this is the basic block diagram of IoT, and these are some of the modules that we can use for prototyping IIoT project. That means actually so many ICs are there, so many microcontrollers are there. So with the help of these microcontroller, we can implement the concept of IoT for any solutions, right? For any problem statement, for that solution, we can use this. Okay, Raspberry Pi, Node MCU, ESP32, Zen3 AMW037. These all are the ICs, some of the ICs, some of the controllers, and in this some are all Wi-Fi modules that you can use to connect to the internet. See, in this you can clearly see Raspberry Pi is a mini computer. So in this IDE, there is a thing called IDE. IDE means integrated development environment. So normally in microprocessor or microcontroller, if you want to do some operation, if you want to perform some operation, you need to write the program for that, right? For example, the same microprocessor, for example, any one microprocessor, if I want to use that microprocessor for coffee vending machine, then I need to write the program for that. The same microprocessor can be used for some other application also. For example, that same microprocessor will be in my washing machine. For that, the code that I put, that will be different. Okay. So for that, we need to develop the code first. We need to develop the functionality. We need to write the functionality. So that can be done with the help of the IDE. Okay. So in this case, Raspberry Pi is a mini computer. So it has separate OS called Raspbian OS. In that you can write the program. You need to write the program in Python. The language that you need to use for Raspberry Pi is Python. You can use that. Similarly, Node MCU, that is a microcontroller. Okay. Along with that microcontroller, one SoC will be there, ESP8266. So with the help of that, you can write the program. So this is the IDE that you need to use. Expressive non-OS SDK and Arduino IDE you can use. I'm going to show one demo in that. And you can use Lua scripting language, embedded C, Node.js for that. So this is simply the table. With this, you get more insight about the DIY modules that you can use for deploying the IoT project. And the LoRaWAN is a wireless module. This is not a microcontroller. This is simply a wireless module. You need to interface this wireless module with the microcontroller. Then you can transmit those information that you acquire to the cloud. Okay. And similarly, AI Thinker LoRa. This is also a wireless module. And Feather by Adafruit. That is a microcontroller. In that microcontroller, you have inbuilt wireless module that would connect you to the cloud. Okay. Similarly, ESP-CAP, that is a development board. With the help of that, you can acquire the data and you can send the data to the cloud. And similarly, Microchip. These all are different companies that you must know. These all are different companies. Microchip is one of the leading microprocessor company. And the IDE that you need to use for is MPLAB, and the language is embedded C and Node.js. So I would like to conclude this table. So in order to deploy, in order to implement the IoT concept in any application, you need to develop the project. You can develop the project with the help of the IDE. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. That is a tool, software tool, in which you can create the program for any particular application. Okay. And the language we need to use now, because these are programming, embedded programming, we need to write some program for that. So different languages are there, like Python, embedded C, C++, Java. So these are the language that we use for implementing these projects in the application that we are going to use, right? And these two are wireless modules. This is simply a table in which the available, actually so many modules and so many ICs and boards are available, but these are some few frequently used or more popular modules for prototyping IIoT, right? Now I would like to show you how to upload the data into the cloud. Okay, so I have a program for that. Even if you do not understand the program fully, no need to worry. Just I tell you the concept. I would like to tell the concept how to upload the program into the cloud. So this is the program. Actually, this program is meant for getting the values from the edge device and send those values into the cloud. Okay. And once I upload the values into the cloud, I can access that in other side, the receiver side. Okay. That is a simple concept. So actually these all are the variable. Just you see this. This is more than enough. Even if you don't understand the remaining part, don't worry. So I'm going to send some value, 97, 48, 11, and 44. These 4 values I'm going to send, and I hope you can see this board, development board, right? This is one of the board. This is called Node MCU. So this is one of the simplest board available in the market, in which you can implement the IoT or IoT concept. Okay, with the help of this board, you too can do some applications. Okay, that will be useful for you to publish some papers also, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send those value into the cloud. So 97, 48, 11, and 44. So I upload, actually this is the IDE, okay, this is the IDE, this is the environment in which I develop the program. I need to write all those code, and once I finish writing the code, I need to upload this code into the board. Physically, I need to upload this by using the wire. It is like burning. How do you copy some data into your memory card? Like that, okay? How do we write some digital information into the CD? It is like that. It is similar to burning. So whatever I have written here, that is converted or uploaded into this IC. Meanwhile, I check the cloud also. There is a cloud called Heroku. So there is a login for me in this cloud. So I have written the program in such a way that I send the data to this cloud. Actually, this is available in the internet. You too can do. You need to create the login, and you need to write the program for this. So what I am doing is, just I am uploading the values into the cloud. Why do I need to upload? Already I said no. For example, if I connect this light to the cloud, I need to know the status of the light, whether it is in on condition or off condition. Okay. Normally in electrical and electronics, if it is on, that is equal to 1, logic 1. If it is off, that is equal to logic 0. So this is a very basic thing that we use in electronics to read the device. Okay. And similarly, this sensor is also the same concept. You can use two different things. One is binary and another one is analog. So I tell you the difference between binary and analog. What is binary? Two values. Okay. For example, when you use binary, I can know only whether the light is turned on or off. If it is on, it is logic 1, already I said. Because in binary, bi means 2, right? 1 and 0. If it is on, the value will be equal to 1. If it is off, the value will be equal to 0. Whereas in analog, you can know the status. If the light is in on condition, then what is the intensity of the light? I can calculate that when you use analog. Similarly, in the case of fan, when I use binary, I can know only whether the fan is in on state or off state. But when I use analog, I can know the speed of the rotation. That is the RPM also I can calculate. So that is the difference. If you want the range of value, then you need to go for analog. If you want only the two state, whether it is on or off, you can go for binary, right? See, here I have sent that value, no, 9, 7, 48, 44 and 11. I got those values here, right? So what I have done is, this controller is there, no, this is enabled with the internet. So I have connected, I have given internet through the Wi-Fi module. See, I have turned on the hotspot here, and through the hotspot, this is connected. In the program itself, I have specified that. See, this is the SSID and password of this system. So I have connected that, and I send the values. I have written the code. In that explicitly, I declare the values. Directly, I put the value to the variables. Okay, so that is transmitted directly into the cloud. Similarly, I can receive the receiver. For receiver also, I have the program. I give you that. So here you get 97, 48, 44 and 11. Okay, so this is how we need to upload the data into the cloud. Once it is uploaded, it has become global, right? It has become all that these data are become global. Anywhere across the world, anywhere across the globe, you can access those data. So this is the concept of what uploading the data into the IoT. Instead of that value, I need to connect the sensor. For example, if I am having a temperature sensor here, a simple temperature sensor. I hope you can see this. So this I can connect to this controller, and I can upload those values into the cloud. So what will happen? The temperature inside this room, Chennai, I can transmit to anywhere. Okay, the temperature, humidity, all those environmental parameters I can calculate, I can acquire, and I can send those data into the cloud. So this is the concept of IoT. And the next thing is some of the projects that we have done. I would like to show you the projects. Okay, the first one is Cockpit Intelligence Platform. It comes under the domain autonomous vehicle. Okay. So this project, the purpose of this project, actually this is the vehicle. I show you the video. So what that person is doing is changing the setting of the vehicle through the mobile phone. He is giving some voice command, and accordingly the light under that is changing. You can see that that color has been changed to blue, right? So this is a simple thing, but the main part is different. So the purpose of this CIP, you can see the acceleration, brake, steering, number of blinks, drowsiness. Actually, that person, the driver, is pretending to be sleeping inside the car. Okay, so when he is feeling drowsy, 3 levels are there: normal, heavy, and medium. Okay, so that will be calculated. The level of drowsiness can be calculated. We have incorporated Raspberry Pi here, and we have used image processing for calculating the drowsiness. That is, whether the driver is in drowsy state or not, and also the number of blinks. That too can be calculated. So some algorithms are there to calculate the drowsiness level. So we have used that. There is a concept called, there is a metric called eye aspect ratio. We use that here. And if the driver is not holding the steering for a long time, then that will give some alert. Okay. If the driver takes off the hand from the steering wheel, automatically after some time, threshold time, that will be indicated. And similarly, the braking, how hard is applying the brake, how hard is applying the acceleration, everything can be calculated. So now I tell you the purpose of this project. So this is one kind of manual customization. This is the normal one. Earlier I showed the voice-based customization, right? So let us see about this project in detail. So this is a block diagram of that project. Here we have EAR, that means eye aspect ratio. Then the BPM, beats per minute, art rate, okay. Then steering control, brake, seat belt, and accelerator. So that we connect to the edge computers. That is normally a microcontroller, and then a gateway. Then it is connected to the server. The server that we use now, that too will process here. That is called cloud computing. Already I said, and all those data will be stored in the form of logs, the history. So the purpose of this cockpit intelligence platform is to analyze the driving pattern of the driver, whether the driver is driving the car safely or not, okay, whether he is applying the brake correctly or not, how many times he has applied the brake, how many times he has applied the sudden brake, whether he is pressing the accelerator more, whether he is driving correctly, whether he is driving according to the gear or not, whether the speed of the vehicle is according to the gear or not, everything will be calculated, and whether the health status of the driver will also be calculated, the BPM, and obviously we have also included the alcohol sensor here, whether the driver has drunk or not, everything can be calculated. So this pattern will be stored, and this will be directly transmitted to the insurance agency, right? So in case of accident, in case of renewal of the vehicle insurance, the depreciation rate is there, no, that will be calculated. Normally nowadays, how do we calculate? Depending on the age of the vehicle, we calculate, right? The depreciation rate we calculate based on the age. But when you use this will be the real metric for calculating the depreciation rate of any vehicle, okay? Whether the driver is handling the car correctly, carefully or not, everything can be calculated. In case of accident also, no need to go for any investigation. All the update will be directly transmitted to the corresponding authority, okay? So this is the purpose, to track the driver's behavior, send data to the insurance company, safety features are there, and the customized setting. That is different drivers will have, if in a same car, if different drivers are going to drive that car, so some settings will be there, no, inside the car. That will be like the seat adjustment, everything can be customized, right? If one particular driver gets into the car and if he tells that I am John, then automatically the customized, all the settings will be customized according to the requirement of John, okay? Then again some Balaji would come, Balaji, if he says Balaji, automatically the customized, every settings will be customized for Balaji, okay? So this we have done for a popular company, and this we have given as a prototype. So next one is smart vehicle with remote assistance. I show you the video for this first.
Very good afternoon. This is the smart chart which we have developed. So in which we have two front cameras for wide angle coverage and one rear view camera for the rear view. This is the ECU part. And here we have the central control tower, so in which we have the controls over here. So controls over here are forward, reverse, headlight and the honking. So here you can see the control tower with the front views and one rear view. The rear view is on the top. Forward. Stop. Reverse. Stop. Headlight. Off. On. Forward. Stop. Reverse. Stop.
Okay, the purpose of this smart vehicle with remote assistance, right? So the purpose is to remotely access the car. For example, if I want to travel to Bangalore, okay, from Chennai, on the middle, when I travel, I feel very tired. So I can call a call center and I can request them to drive the car for me. This is the concept. Okay, actually in autonomous vehicle itself, so many complications are there, so many practical difficulties are there. But since this is feasible only, this is possible. Maybe in another 5 years we can implement these kind of technologies, right? So even if I go on the way, if I feel tired, I can call the call center and I can request them to drive the car for me. I will be inside the car, but all the control will be transferred to the call center, like the front view, okay, the back view, all the 360-degree view will be sent. That is what you have seen in that 3 monitors, right? So in the prototype model, we have fixed 2 cameras at the front and 1 at the back, okay? And also the remote, the driver is there, no? He will be in the remote location. He can drive the car. By seeing the monitor, he can drive the car for me. And the original or physical car will be running on the road, okay? So this is possible, but so many drawbacks and so many challenges are there in autonomous vehicle, but still this is possible. We have done this prototype for a popular company. So 4 different things we have controlled: acceleration, brake, honking, and headlight turning and off, and steering, like left and right. All this control we have included in this project. So similarly, camera. So all those information will be transmitted to the server, from the server to the remote location, and from there, this is bi-directional, okay? From the remote location, they can send all the values, like the controlling parameter will be sent to the car, and this should be done with no latency. That is the challenge here. Normally, the accident occurs in the road because of the reaction time, right? Even if you delay some millisecond latency, because of that millisecond delay, so many accident happens. Accident happens mainly because of that reaction time, right? But this is still a challenging one. But the concept is, this is the concept that we have done. But this is possible. In the future, it is definitely possible. But here also, we faced one problem in the latency, because we need to in this we had to transmit the video information. All this information we transmitted simultaneously with very little, that is microsecond delay only, okay? That is acceptable. But when you go for camera, you need to process the video and send, no? And that took much time. That was in the range of some seconds. So that is not at all acceptable. But still it is possible, right? And the next one is, I show you another video. This is an interesting video, interesting project. This is simply home automation. So normally it will be like this. When you deploy, when you want to deploy the IoT product in your home, you need the board like this, and you need to incorporate all the electrical components to this board. Okay. So normally we use switch in our house, right? But when you use this, you can directly control all those electrical parameters, electrical accessories through your mobile. So they have fixed the temperature sensor and LDR, light intensity at that particular room. So that too we can acquire instantly. So with the help of this, simply this is not only the automation, right? We can do so many things, like what is the amount of energy consumed by the particular light, what is the amount of energy consumed by the particular fan. So based on that, we can plan accordingly. So that will be useful, right? So even in this room I am talking now, in this room we have connected the sensors here, PIR sensors. So when the person enters into the room, automatically light would be turned on. So that is a simple thing. By using the sensor we can do that. Okay, commercially sensors are available, but the thing is we can do so many analytics in the case of IoT. So what is the occupancy level in this room throughout the day, from morning 8 to evening 5? What is the occupancy? How many persons have come inside the room? In which place they are sitting when they come inside? In which space they are sitting? All those parameters can be calculated with the help of this IoT, right? And similarly, so many projects we have done. I would like to tell some important, just I have highlighted some important projects here, okay? And this is one interesting project, IoT in healthcare. This we have done like what prototype. So redundancy is one of the important concern in IoT, because when you connect so many devices, what will happen? All the devices will be sending the data continuously 24/7 to the cloud. So when you send like that, what will happen? For example, you all are having your mail ID. If I keep on sending mail to your mail, what will happen? Your mail ID, or when you log in, you will be getting so many messages, right? Even you will not get time to delete all the mails, all the letters, right? So when you connect so many devices to the IoT, what will happen? Data will be accumulated more into the server. Even the unwanted and redundant data will be accumulated into the server, and that will be difficult for the server to process all those data. And that is why we are going for fog node. Fog means, already I said, no, there is a thing called edge, fog, and cloud. Okay, cloud is the server part. In that you write program in the computer server that process all the information. In between the server and edge will be at the application side, and cloud will be in the internet. In between these two, you have a node called fog. Okay, actually cloud is the fog is the subcategory of cloud, right? So the same concept, fog node. The purpose of the fog node is to transmit those information into the server, and if possible, you can reduce the data in the fog. You can compute the data in the fog node itself, and you can filter out the data there. Okay, so this project is for redundancy checker. So this is used in the case of in healthcare. The application domain is healthcare. So continuously it monitors the the health parameters of the patient, right? The ECG, articular and ventricular repolarization and depolarization data. In the case of ECG, that is calculated continuously, and the BPM, heart rate, is calculated. The temperature of the patient is calculated. Okay, so that is all the data is calculated, and the edge is processing. If there is this concept is called event triggering. If there is any abnormality, then only it will be sent to the server. Okay, otherwise it will be processed in the edge node itself. if there is any abnormality in the parameter acquired, okay, then only it is processed, then only it is sent to the cloud. By doing so, most of the information are being stopped by the edge itself, okay. Then the considerable or significant amount of data will be saved. So server will also feel freed from all those data, the redundant data. The bottleneck moment or bottleneck concept at the server side can be averted by using this, okay. Then you can send those data into the mobile app for any medical officer or the caretaker, like that. So this is one of the important concept. This is one of the important application in healthcare, IoT. And in agriculture, already I said no. You can process, you can predict the weather. Actually, so many weather applications are there. Weather forecasting missions are there. With the help of that, from the website, you can acquire those data, and you need to enter the region. Code is there for all the region. For example, in Chennai, so many districts are there. So I can enter the region name. So in that region, what is the data? What is the weather? What is the speed of the wind? What is the temperature? What is the humidity? That I can calculate, okay? And similarly, from the field, you can calculate the soil moisture, humidity, air quality, and temperature. Based on that, you can predict whether it will be raining tomorrow or not. So based on that, you can plan the irrigation accordingly, right? Already I said, if it is going to rain tomorrow, then why should I irrigate my agriculture field today? Anyway, it is going to rain tomorrow, right? So at that case, I can write the algorithm in such a way. In some cases, separately, we need to irrigate the field, even if it's going to rain tomorrow. At that time, for that only, we are using these kind of sensors. So based on that, I can irrigate. That will save the amount of water as well as the electricity energy, right? So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Already you would have asked, I try to answer. So why I discuss about this kind of prototype boards are, by using this board, you can create your own application, and that will be useful for you to publish some papers also, because for publishing the papers, we need data, right? So in data are mostly what we need for publishing the paper. So that will be useful to get those data by using this prototype sensor and all, right? So I got one question. Explain me about IoT in vehicle. So in the vehicle, what we have done is we have connected the cameras in the front side and rear side, okay? So wherever the vehicle is there, in the remote access also, I get the same experience or same environment I will get, like I am sitting inside the vehicle, but I will be in the remote location, right? From there, I would control the vehicle, right? For example, it is like the video game, right? The video game and all the simulators are there, no? In that, it gives us the feeling that we are driving the car. Actually, we are not driving the car, but we get the feeling like that. But in the video game application, we do not have any secondary impact. Only in the video, some pictures are moving and we get that feeling. But in this case, really you are going to run a car. You will be in some remote location, and from there you are controlling your car. Physically, the car will be running somewhere. So that is the application that we use in the first the second concept, IoT vehicle. In the first CIP concept, cockpit intelligence platform, we analyze the pattern of the driver. Okay, how the driver is driving the car, that we calculate. Whether he is applying the accelerator correctly, whether he is applying the brake correctly, everything is calculated, and that will be stored, and that can be used. Those data can be used for the issuing the insurance next time, because we have depreciation rate, right? So that normally we calculate based on the age of the vehicle, but that is not the correct method. That is not the correct metric. Even if I don't take the car for 1 year, I need the depreciation, the amount of the that is the what to say, the value of the vehicle will be reduced the next year because of the age. But how I am using the vehicle is very, very important. That is why in the vehicle insurance agency, they inspect the vehicle, right? If there is any damage, based on that they increase the rate or decrease the rate of the vehicle. We need to pay, right? So by using this concept, that will be useful for our insurance policy and the owner, and even for the driver also, right? I hope you got some insight about IoT. If you have any question, you can ask now. Okay, thank you. If you want to contact us, you can contact our coordinator. I hope you are having his number. So we'll be grateful. We will be happy to help you in implementing or deploying IoT projects. Thank you.
Okay. Is that completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Okay, sir, thank you. Thank you so much for your lecture. So, if you have any doubts, you can raise your hands, or you can text in chat box. Subbaraman P, you have been allowed to interact with him straight away. So you can come online, and if you want to have any clarification, you can ask with him. Okay, so I hope there is no doubt in the chat box also. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.